Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Nigeria Now on Echo Television International, where we keep you updated with all that has been happening, looking at some of government policies, looking at politics, looking at education, and also security. Very important. And we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, so we'll beg your indulgence to join us live there. Drop your views or any of your comment on the story that will be of interest to you. I'm Stella Elisha Dasham, and I'll be doing the program together with Rachel Tanzi. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Afternoon, Sally.
All right, we have quite a number of issues on our plate, and we'd love to quickly touch at least two or three of them before we round up for the show. And we'd like to go back to River State again. If you will recall, yesterday we saw where about 27 lawmakers actually defected to the opposition party, which is the APC. And then pending a court ruling today, we are seeing that follow-up of that story, the court has actually given their own ruling pending when things will be resolved in the house. As it is presently, the house is going through renovation. There are some bulldozers that were seen in the premises early hours of the morning and then trying to, rebuild it following the bomb blast and also the fire that actually got a very good space actually there. And Rachel, when you look at this entire story, yesterday I remember saying that we're yet to see the end of the story.
Yes.
Because according to the 27 that affected, it said the 4 are not really there on suspension as it is presently. But looking at what the court have ruled today following, they said that because the whole drama started where we saw the issue, or we can say the rift between the present governor and the former governor, which is Wilson Wike, who happens to be the minister of the FCT. And then that was when we saw there were people who were loyal to the FCT and there were people who were loyal to the present governor, and about just 4 of them were loyal, but they were on suspension according to the 27 lawmakers actually defected. And we remember saying that the governor was supposed to present the 2024 budget of about 800 billion naira,
Yes.
which he cannot because there are no lawmakers for him to do that. And then we're seeing there are mixed reactions following the fact that even though we're having 2 fractions in the House presently, the court have banned the 27 together with their leader, saying that they should not have access to the building again, pending whatever outcome of the election or pending whatever the outcome, of the ruling will be in the court before they can have access. But when you look at the back and forth, we keep saying here that the house divided against itself cannot stand eventually, and that is what is happening in River State presently. And we are hoping that whatever the issue will be, eventually they should be able to rectify it. So right now we're seeing, according to the court, they say that Edison should head the Rivers Assembly pending whatever the court ruling will be.
I mean, Sally, when it comes to politics, I believe that what the ruling coming from the court in River State is actually good. In the sense that when you look at how things are being done, without this suspension for this 27, it's going to meld with governance on a lot of level. Why? We know how the houses of assembly are, and we can start at the national level. For example, there are majorities and there are minority, and depending on the ruling party or the party in position, we will have the majority of the lawmakers are from the ruling parties. Now, whether we like it or not, as the head, that is the president, if we're talking at the National Assembly, either way, you need your majority in the House. Why? Because for them to be able to aid your agenda, for them to be able to support you in your government. Now, if Fubra was to continue having 27 lawmakers defecting and then leaving him with the minority on his own side, they will frustrate his yes, they will frustrate his effort, because in the end he might bring his budget review, they might not work on it, they might criticize it, not reasonable or a healthy criticism, but it might just be judgmental criticism. They will try to frustrate his effort as the governor. So either way, he still needs people that are majority on his side. I mean, it's unfortunate, Sally, that our government have gotten to the point of loyalism. Let me put it like that, because it's supposed to be that we just have great thinkers and leaders as and great minds, like leaders, intellectuals as our leaders, that regardless of what party you sit under or you were elected into a position with, that you will not try to frustrate the effort of your head, because in the end it's all about growing rivers. In the end it's all about growing a country. In the end it's all about growth from one place to another. And that's where we keep seeing patriotism like losing its place in Nigeria. We're in the position of godfather, godson, loyalist, and all of that. It shouldn't be in play, because you should be loyal to one cause, and this is where we are failing. So for me, as things, I know a lot of things will still happen, but the court ruling is it's kind of on the positive, because the governor is the governor. He has come to stay. There was no court petition, there's no trial, there's no Supreme Court. He is the unopposed governor of Rivers State. So he needs people on his side. If not, they will frustrate. He will bring his budget, and you will see the frustration that he will go through. Eventually, if the budget gets passed, what about other things in the state that needs to happen? So with our system of governance, with the way we do politics and everything, it is important for the governor or whoever is at a leadership position to have the minority on their side. So, but until then, I believe that this is positive. We can't say 100% for sure, but we will wait and see how things unfold. But then it is, we can start from then. Let everything be postponed concerning the budget until everything normalizes. Then before Rivers State can move. As far as I'm concerned, it is on a hold right now.
Honestly, I'm not happy with what is happening in Rivers, because this is one of the powerful states we have in the country, and then the RIF wasn't even a good one in the first place. Some of the lawmakers moving for impeaching the governor, which happened to be the 27 that actually defected. They were the ones who were moving for the impeachment, and the president, we're seeing that they are not even satisfied with the court ruling, Rachel, because they feel that the court ruling is biased, and then maybe he's having a romance with the court. That is what they feel as it is. But just like we said, we're looking forward to when we see our three arms of government working independently without allowing any other arm to actually influence their decision making. Yesterday, remember, we said that we're looking forward to a judiciary that will not allow themselves to be used as puppets in the hands of politicians, because we've seen that happening over the years, and we are hoping that there will be a turnaround in all of these things, and then a change. Now, still looking at some of moving forward for the growth of Nigeria, we're seeing that the Minister of Solid Minerals is coming out to say that some powerful, influential Nigerians are behind or sponsoring banditry and terrorism. And he was talking about this with the fact that we're supposed to be realizing tons of millions of dollars from solid minerals, but then it seems some influential Nigerians are actually illegally mining some of these solid minerals, selling it out, and then making money for themselves without the government or without the country benefiting from it. And of course, you and I have said one or two things about the fact that we have been careless, if we're going to be honest, to the fact that we've heard a number of times where we see it either in Zamfara or somewhere, you hear that diamonds, golds were discovered, and then you really cannot place your finger who were the people who discovered it. Initially, it was working with foreign bodies, but right now we're even having that influential Nigerians are behind it. And I remember when I said that when you say influential Nigerian, we're not talking about unknown people. Why don't we have the names of those people? Why do we keep protecting people who are enemies of growth in this nation? And I think that has been the concern, not just for me, I believe, but even for a lot of Nigerians out there that are looking forward to growth of Nigeria eventually.
I mean, Sele, for an organized crime to be successful, there is a hierarchy. And the hierarchy at the top is that there is a cartel, be it drug, be it illegal, anything, whatever it is, Sele, that is a crime and is organized, have some level, not some very good amount of hierarchy. And the top, Sele, the top is run by very influential and untouchable people. So I believe that this statement from the Minister of Solid Minerals is not some kind of revelation that is new. However, just as you keep making emphasis, Sele, who are these people? And why are we silent about them? Terrorism always have sponsors everywhere.
People who are familiar with the terrain.
whatever kind of terrorist movement, we see that in the Middle East, we see that here in Africa, everywhere that there is a terrorist group, they have a financier. So they have sponsors, and they are being sponsored in billions of whatever currency they are functioning with at whatever region they have. And therefore it has to take a powerful person with that much money to be able to sponsor something that big. And for us to keep seeing that illegal mining keep thriving in Nigeria, we see the complaints of having foreign people coming to work. We see yes, they work in our mines. They take these solid minerals. For you to see such things thriving, there is somebody with so much power and influence that is protecting these people, and it is thriving. We can say the same for drugs. You will see a lot of people on the street. Everybody knows that this person is dealing drugs, and nobody is saying anything about it because that person is protected. So when you look at it, is a problem that of course the solid minerals minister cannot do it alone, because where is this corruption coming from? We're looking at our security agencies. They are allowing it also. We look at who are the people in charge of making sure that such criminals are culpable. We talked about Boko Haram, where we got the names of some people sponsoring it, and we see the federal government is refusing to publish those names. It's refusing to put a face to those people, and we keep letting it slide. And then it's the same thing when it comes to solid minerals. And I mean, I just hope that rather than just saying it because it's not new, what are you planning to do as a minister? I keep saying, let's be solution driven. We know the problems, they are not new. It's out there. Everybody knows that for sure. For this to thrive, this is what is happening. What do you plan on doing as a minister now in this position that you have seen this threat? What is your solution for the country? And then eventually he would have the backing of the necessary authorities to be able to call these people to book and then let them answer eventually.
You know, Richard, I think the best way that the minister can handle this is, even though I remember him saying state governors do not have right over mining side, but I think he needs to work with the governors. He needs to work with the various ministries that are also in charge in the state level down to the local government, because just like I said, certain things cannot happen without people who are familiar with the terrain. Believe you me, the minister do not know all the places that mining are taking place. In fact, illegal mining for that matter.
He wouldn't
So you
know.
need to go down to some of those holes and actually dig out some of those places, because it will shock you to know the millions and billions that people are realizing from it. So I'm hoping that beyond the minister complaining about influential Nigerians, I think the first step is, let us be transparent to make sure that regardless of how powerful you are, you should face the full wrath of the law. I mean, we keep talking about the rule of law. We cannot overemphasize the importance of it. Let us say that the people who are behind this will be brought to book. If you are very, very certain that powerful Nigerians are behind the illegal mining that we are going through in the country, then the same source who brought that information to you should be able to tell you the names of those people, except if you are protecting somebody somewhere. But then if we're really ready to grow, we already see people complaining on the fact that, I mean, even our budget, we keep borrowing and borrowing, we are running on deficit. If we really want to be ready to budget certain things we need without necessarily borrowing, there are certain sectors we need to give full attention. And I'm hoping I'll see the minister doing that as well, not necessarily pointing a finger and pushing blames and not doing anything about it. Now I would love us to round up with the issue of the TUC, which they have kicked against the 35,000 naira that the federal government have promised to pay to workers as their minimum wage. Not really minimum wage, but just something for them to hold on to for the meantime. And then we remember the president promised that from 30 it will be 35. And then the money was supposed to start coming from September down to, I think, March, when the first quarter is when we'll be having the real minimum wage. And you and I were talking about, hope the committee is ready, working, making sure that everything works, so that by the first week of April or the ending of April, we'll see workers getting. But here we are having TUC complaining workers are yet to even see the 35,000 naira. The last time, or the first and last time they saw it, was just in September. And they have not seen for October, November. Remember even Oshomole talking about the fact that they should not allow the people, the government, to go on break until they pay the 35,000 naira, because people will be going for the festive season without anything for their family. How will you face your kids? How will you face your loved one without anything? Now, these are part of the thing that the TUC is actually calling on the government to please do something about this 35,000 naira, because it seems they are paying it in installment, and that was not the agreement in the first place.
I mean, Salah, it's unfortunate that the federal government is still lagging behind when it comes to this payment, and it feels like, I mean, NLC, TUC have given them the long rope, and they are still not doing whatsoever about it to prove Nigerians wrong about what we think is their mindset towards us. Because every message keeps saying the government doesn't care, and even when you have been given enough time to prove and show that you do care, you haven't. And then it's really sad, because not only is this 35,000, what about the palliatives that is supposed to go to target 50 million households? We're looking at 25,000. We saw a charade of just giving some few old people checks, and it stopped there, and Nigerians are still not getting this money. It's not going anywhere. Nobody is talking about it. We are seeing that the civil servants have gotten only for September, and October is gone, November is gone, and we are in December, and this 35,000 is nowhere to be seen or gotten. And then we also saw that ASU is saying, you know what, if you continue like that, we will eventually go on a strike. And then you keep wondering, Sele, tomorrow, if ASU should eventually go on a strike, who is to be blamed? Looking at the long road they are giving the government. Tomorrow, if the TLC, if TUC, NLC should say we've had enough and go on a strike, at this point, who is to be blamed? Because this long road started since June. Ever since the promises made by the president in his speech, this long rope has been there from the start of the third quarter of 2022. We are at the fourth and last quarter. We're in December, literally counting days to finish the year, and we're not seeing anything. And yet you kept on threatening people, trying to emotionally blackmail them that they are crippling the economy. And you wonder, okay, fine. They kept giving you the long rope so that they won't be the one crippling the economy. And who is crippling the economy? Let's be realistic. So I just hope, just as Mosifa is telling Nigerian government, even at the state level, let them tighten their belt, because it looks like they're not doing anything. They haven't proved Nigerians wrong. And we are hoping that they do prove us wrong, because we don't want to always be in the position where we feel our government is doing nothing.
Rachel, you just touched ASU, and I have to make a comment about that. And just like you rightly stated, ASU is saying they are not happy with what the government did, especially looking at education, or the money being allocated for education. You and I actually extreme the allocation being given to various sectors. And we're really sad with what is going to education, looking at the universal basic education, the student loan, just 50 billion naira. And then we can talk about the money that will be going to that sector. And the president promised, in fact, I so had to take time to quote that the president promised that he was going to increase the allocation going to education by 15%. But right now they are saying that the money being given to education is just 2.18 trillion naira, which is just 7.9% of the total budget. And ideally, we said it here that if you really want to pay attention to education, you have to allocate about 30% of that money. And you and I also look at the fact that places that don't even need so much are giving so much. We're seeing that even the Ministry of Solid Mineral that we're talking about is not getting the allocation that they want. They are complaining. We saw some ministries that were being left out, and we're seeing that National Assembly eventually may just have to increase. And I told you that I'm having that feeling we might reach 30 from the way things are moving. We might reach 30. And I'm just hoping that, you know what, in a place where the federal government is saying university produce more doctors, doctors that are brought, please come back home, and yet you are not giving these people the right equipment, giving them all that they need to make sure, you know what, let our lecturers be well taken care of. Let them be gingered to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Let them produce qualified graduates that when you go to the hospital to say doctor, you are sure that this is a certified doctor. We're seeing the number of consultants that are leaving. Rachel, you know that it's not actually a day job for you to be a consultant. It takes years of practice. And we're having over 500 leaving. So whose fault is it? Just like you rightly stated, when we begin to see certain bodies falling, certain people not doing what they should do, who is to blame? The government will come up with an emotional blackmail telling you, please get back students at this, student at that. We are increasing the number of criminals.
We are.
So I'm just hoping that the federal government, because already people are already talking about the Minister of Labor and Employment. He is the Minister of Labor and Employment. He is a senator. And Nigerians are just hoping, just pick one side. If you want to be
focused.
a senator, there should be a minister for labor and employment. If you want to be a minister, let the people of Plateau State decide who their senator will be, because they need somebody to represent them. So what are we saying, Rachel? When our leaders are confused on what to do,
yes,
this is the outcome of things.
True.
So I'm hoping that beyond the talk, because we've seen each time NLTUC, NLC come out to talk, it seems as if they're just talking. So we just hope that the government will take them serious, because I do not want to say 2024 where students will be at home. You know what the ASU strike have done to a lot of students, and we do not want to go back to that same road again.
Yes.
Second semester will be starting by January. Schools are already on exams presently. So I'm hoping, honestly, that the federal government will give the school attention that they need, and also, you know, look into, if it means for you to add something going to education, please do that, because it's needed.
It's important.
Well, Rachel, I think this is how far we can go on the program.
Yes,
thank you so much for
You're
being with
welcome.
me. And also thank you to our viewers and supporters at home for keeping the date with us on Nigerian Now. Until we come tomorrow, do have the best day ahead.